So now I got this configured for sort of backwoods, remote area hiking. So what I will have in this is the local ham channels, all of them that's, might be in reach of this radio out there in the field. I have the NOAA weather alert function turned on and activated. I would have all the public safety frequencies programmed into this, so I could scan them to see if there's anything going on, or something happens to me where I need to get help or help somebody else that I may meet out there in the trail. All the usual excuses and suspects of why I want to configure this the way it is. And also my shit hit the fan frequencies in case it goes into the extreme. I got the APRS configured on this with my tactical call sign. And yeah, I know it sounds goofy considering this is the prepper sort of community, or whatever you want to call it, tactical community. But it's actually called a tactical call sign. That is when you place a call sign other than your FCC assigned official call sign on the APRS digital data that goes over the air. So in my case, for the hike, my tactical call sign is going to be, and that's how it's going to be portrayed up on the website, aprs.fi, for tracking purposes for this experiment. You see, you guys are going to be part of this thing too. You could track me while I go through this particular hike. So that's kind of sort of, viewer participation, I guess, and you can see if I'm freaking dead or what. But anyway, popular sort of operating procedure is to put your official call sign on the comment of your digital data coming out. You see, you could put comments in your digital beaconing as you walk along or whatever, and it transmits your signal out to the world for ID purposes. But you don't have to do that. According to the FCC rules, and I annotate the official verbiage, is you have to ID every 10 minutes while you're having a conversation or communications. Not like every time you push to talk, every time you start a sentence or whatever, but within 10 minutes of that conversation, or every time it didn't say that you have to use the same mode that you use to sort of comply with that rule. So your official FCC call sign is registered with the FCC, and it's public information. Any yahoo could get on the internet on the official FCC website, plug in the call sign on there, and find out where you live, because your address will show up. In my case, it's going to a PO box somewhere else, totally far away from where I'm actually living at. And that's legal because that's part of the area that I usually operate in. So I'm, some ambiguity there built into my way of doing things, but complying with the law. With the tactical call sign, I don't have to put my official call sign in the data verbiage. What I could do is just use my tactical call sign, put some other comment on there like the High Sierra Trail, and that's it. Once I know that data has been transmitted out, and I'll have a way to kind of know that when my radio is transmitting, I'll just go on the same channel on low power and verbally over the air with my voice say my call sign. So for YouTube tracking purposes, you guys will never know what the hell's going on unless you're out there listening in ambush or whatever. But I will comply with the law that way. There's debate about that, but I'm pretty sure it's 100% legal. The law is very vague about that particular requirement. Like I said, you could pick up the NOAA weather stations with this here, and it also has an alert function where you could activate that or not. So you could tune into a local weather station, which I'm not going to do because it'll show where I'm close to as far as geographical area where I'm living at. But I could simulate the NOAA weather alert function with this thing, with my test equipment here. That's what this thing is producing all sorts of noise here. So what I'll do is, with an adapter here, this is an SMA male connector adapting to a female BNC connector, and this device here is what you will use to kind of interface it into an external antenna, roof mount on a vehicle, or in my case here, I actually have a Jim Slim antenna that I'm going to hook up to later on, and it's this configuration right here. This is connected to my hard line out there, going to my little sort of pole out there in the backyard, and right into the radio here. This one is a TYT dual band radio that I'm using as a receiver for now. So unscrew the stock antenna, and by the way, I'm not going to use this antenna. Screwing your adapter, and now this cable here could be the external antenna outside, or in my case here, my test equipment here. So the only way that the NOAA weather alert will activate is if the radio is in scanning mode, any scanning mode. It will not do it if you're not scanning. It doesn't have like a dual watch where it looks at your NOAA weather station and then, you know, goes back to normal listening to the single channel when you're not scanning at all. So you have to put the radio in scanning mode. So in this case is the F function once, a little F appears on the corner there, and then number 2. In this particular setup, I'm scanning the frequencies that I program into this, the memory mode. So I only have 3 channels programmed into it. Mirrors number 2, the official APRS frequency 144.39, and a test frequency for packet radios 145.09, which is in my particular area band plan. It's slotted for a packet radio communications. So, and I am using a ham channel, so I'm totally legal. Even if I was using a Mirrors channel and I'm hooked up to the test equipment, I'm still legal because it's not being radiated outside the world. It's going straight into my test equipment. It's not going nowhere past that. So for testing purposes, I am still legal, even though I'm not using a legal channel for me to do this. Once I stick the antenna on there and transmit on that Mirrors channel with this radio at 5 watts, then that's a different story that could get you in trouble. So I am scanning. So now I'm gonna simulate the NOAA weather alert. So I'm gonna go ahead and produce the frequency of weather station number 9. So right now the generator is on. It's still scanning. Even though it's scanning the memory channels, it's taking a look at the weather station that's already pre-programmed into the radio. So it'll go through the whole memory list and then look briefly into the weather stations to see if there's any interesting activity there. Even though there is, because weather stations always transmit 24/7, because you are scanning, it's not gonna sort of stop on that one channel because you have the weather alert function turned on this. If there's any alert coming from, you know, the meteorologist saying that you're going to hit some bad weather, or tornadoes, hurricanes, you name it, it's going to send out a tone over the air to activate all the receivers out there within listening distance to say, hey, listen up. And that's how it works. It sends out a tone to say, listen up, we got some important messages, an alert. So right now I got it's on as far as the RF going into it. Now I'm going to produce that same tone to activate the weather station. That's the weather alert. And just press any button on the side here, either monitor or push to talk, and it'll open up. It'll stop at that one weather station, and you can hear your traffic. That is the tone that it heard for it to sort of say that this is an alert, you know, stuff's going to happen, and you hear that weird sound. So for me, that's pretty powerful, having something like this, especially going into the backwoods where I'll get a notification if I'm going to get dumped on severely with snow or whatever in your area, hurricanes, whatever. So here I'm going to demonstrate it again. This thing is scanning, you know, all your other frequencies like local police or other ham channels or whatever. It's in the scan mode. It'll only work if it's in the scan mode. So it's scanning right now. I'm going to replicate the signal. There's the alert. Press any button on the side and you hear it. And that's the usual traffic that you'll hear. Those weird tones and noise that you hear from the NOAA weather station is actually digital data going into receivers out there that would decode that and sort of give a printout or display of saying what the alert is in nature as far as hurricanes, tornadoes, or what other potential catastrophe that could happen. And that's what it is. Here, really quick, demonstration of the Mars cap modification. And again, I'm going directly into the test equipment, so I'm not transmitting over the air. Perfectly legal. So I'm on Muir's channel number 2, is 151.88 megahertz, and here is transmit. Transmitting about 3.8 watts. And I'm 7 hertz off frequency, which is really good. So on the Muir's channel, the power out was kind of low, I would think. It was 3.8 watts, but I'm contributing that the radio is actually transmitting out of band. But if it's got the Mars cap modification capable, it was designed to go ahead and transmit in that particular band. Just my way of thinking. Don't know for sure, but here I am at 145.05 megahertz, which is the ham channel, but this is type rated for it to transmit on, and transmit on that is 4.8 watts with 8 hertz of frequency error, which is pretty good. Still maybe 0.3 watts too low. It's rated for 5 watts, but I'll take it. So the NOAA weather alert feature was an added feature that's beneficial to me. I like it, but it wasn't my core features that I wanted on there. We just demonstrated that it does do the Mars cap modification, and it transmits right on frequency. So the next feature will be the APRS automatic packet reporting system, which is tracking your location or messaging other locations and stuff like that, which is my number one reason why I converted to this radio here.
Come on down, do it,